Hello, I'm Julie Leonard, life coach and happiness evangelist. And today I want to talk about the topic of self-kindness and how it can really improve our happiness. Self-kindness is an important topic. I see it coming up time and time again with my clients. That inner dialogue, that conversation that we have in our heads, it is often incredibly critical and really harsh. I know it myself. I've lived with it for many, many years, and I've had to work really hard on that to change that inner dialogue in my brain. And what I find, like, I grew up, as you know, I grew up with lots of limiting beliefs and very negative self-talk. And I would find that I could really focus solely on the negative. And through that, I could take a simple situation or an event or just a random thought, and I could really run with it and really talk to myself in a very negative and harsh way. I like to think that I'm a kind person, and I would always, my kind of work as well. I'm always talking with people, listening to people. Um, I pride myself in being compassionate and understanding towards others and kind. And so I would always be talking in a nice way, kind way, understanding way. Yet when it came to myself, when I really tuned into what I was saying to myself, it was incredibly harsh, really nasty at times, and a really without any compassion, without any empathy, without any understanding, without any kindness towards myself. And I wondered, does that resonate with you? Do you notice a difference between how you speak to other people and actually the way you speak to yourself? Would you ever speak to another person the way you speak to yourself? Would you ever utter those words to another person? You wouldn't, would you? You would never talk to another people. You never dream of speaking to someone else and saying the words that you say to yourself. And so this is a really important point, that how we speak to ourselves really influences how we feel, and it really influences our feelings of happiness. So I want to share with you some top ways that you can work on your self-kindness. I wrote down a whole pile here. I want to share them with you. I think I got about 15. So there's loads of ways that you can work on changing your self-talk. Number one, talk to yourself like your own best friend. So we talked about like how you speak to other people. How do you speak to yourself? You want to afford yourself the same kindness and compassion that you give to other people. So I want you to begin to think about that and talk to yourself with much more kindness. What would a friend say to you? And listen to that. Say it in the same way. Most of us are coping with a lot right now, and we can be really hard on ourselves. So giving yourself that same compassion, like there's days right now where it's okay not to be okay. And for you to say, like, I'm doing the best I can in such a hard situation. Those kind of ways is, as you would reassure a friend, do the same with yourself, to talk to yourself like your own best friend. Like I said, also the next one is like, it's okay not to be okay. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves for everything to be perfect, everything to be great, that we should cope with everything that comes our way. And it's okay to have days where it's hard. I'm a coach, I'm a happiness evangelist. I'm not happy every minute of every single day. I'm a human being. And so it's okay to say, I don't feel okay today. I'm struggling today. I feel overwhelmed today. And to be kind about that, to be compassionate, not berate yourself for having a hard day or not feeling your best on a day. The important thing is to focus on your strengths. When we have a very strong inner critic, we focus a lot on the negatives, the things that we haven't done, the things that we're not doing, the things that are difficult. It's important to balance that up and to focus on our strengths, the things that we are good at, the things that we are capable of doing, things that we have done. I often like to write a did it list rather than a to-do list. All the things that I did do. We achieve a lot in a day, but we tend to focus on what we didn't do rather than what we did do. So really focus on your strengths. Take time to really, not just go, yeah, I'm quite good at stuff, but to really sit down and truly dig deep and recognize your strengths. We all have strengths. You've got strengths. dig deep and find out what those are and really focus on them. It's really important in terms of being kind to ourselves to set boundaries, to really give ourselves those boundaries that take care of us, that not allow people to take advantage of us, to not overstretch us, not don't work too many hours, don't agree to help everybody, don't take on too many tasks. Set boundaries for yourself, whether it's in your day and how your day is structured, or to what you take on. You've got to look after yourself. And that leads on to it's okay to say no. Learn to say no. Say no to the things that don't make you feel good, that don't serve you, that are not comfortable for you. It's not what you want to do. It's okay to say no. It's also okay to say yes to the things that you do like. So set those boundaries and practice saying no when it feels right for you. I'd also say, this is coming up a lot for me just now, is listen to your body. I don't know how you feel now. Like, I'm recording this beginning of November. When the seasons change and the clocks change, I always notice a shift in my energy and how I feel. Listen to your body. We've gone through a tough year. 2020 has been a huge year. A lot going on, a lot of stress, a lot of persistent, constant stress for us. Listen to your body. Have you told yourself that you've got to keep pushing on? You've got to keep pushing through. Tune in, listen to your body. What do you need? Do you need an early night? Do you need to take a break? Do you need a day off? What do you need? Do you need to get more sleep? Do you need to drink more water? What do you need to do? Listen to your body and respond to that. That's self-kindness, to nurture and nourish yourself when you need it. Learn to accept compliments. People with that inner critic are often people who deflect. Yeah. It's not healthy to deflect those compliments. In order to build ourselves up in our positive self-talk, learn to hear and to take those compliments that people give you. I'm sure you love giving them out. It feels good to give people compliments. I'm sure it's natural for you to give those compliments. It's also important that we can receive those messages too, not just give them. To think about it. Are you truly accepting those compliments people give you, or are you batting them away and ignoring them? Learn to take those compliments. And surround yourself with people that make you feel good. Surround yourself with positive people that enhance that feeling of kindness towards you, that give you those compliments. Get rid of the negative people, the things that don't serve you, and be around positive people. Because when you're around positive people, you also feel more positive, and the more positive you are, the more people you attract. It's a win-win situation. It's also, as we talked about, that it's okay not to be okay. It's important to process all of your emotions. We've talked about this already in other recordings. It's okay to process things. Like, I don't just say that I'm happy all the time or everything's fine, because it's not. And actually, the research shows us people who process all their emotions, the negative ones, the difficult ones, they're actually happier people. It's not good for us to bottle things up and to pretend things are okay or to ignore how we feel. It's important that we have time and space to process and let go things that are bothering us, the emotions that we have and thoughts that we have. So finding tools, and we'll talk about that, one of those in a minute, finding ways to process how you feel, acknowledging how you feel, that's going to help you so much. And it's kind to yourself to process and let go of emotions, not to hold them in and bottle them inside. I really love this term, imperfectly perfect. It's actually in the Urban Dictionary now. Imperfectly perfect. And self-kindness, and a big step that I had to work on so much over the years, is to accept all of me, to accept myself as a person, flaws and all. I'm really clumsy. I'm a chatterbox, as you can tell. I've gone from being shy and introverted to really chatting. That's who I am. And before I would feel ashamed of those or embarrassed by that, now I embrace that as part of me. That's who I am. If you want to hang out with me, I'm a super chatty person. I don't probably trip over on the way, but that's who I am. It is important that we We look at the things that we can change that are important for us in order to be the best version of ourselves, but also to accept as human beings that we're not perfect. We have flaws, we have our quirks, and to embrace that and like that for ourselves. The world would be a boring place if we're all just these perfect people. You know, we all have our uniqueness about us, and it's important to work on that and embrace that and learn to love that person that you are, that whole person, warts and all, we would say. Something that comes up every single week in our happiness club meetings is this idea of disconnecting from tech. Here I am. I think tech is amazing in lots of ways, and I keep saying this: as long as you're its master, not its slave, it serves you well. But we're often on there a lot, and it really can challenge holding on to feeling good about ourselves and being kind. It can foster a lot of comparison, comparing ourselves to others, seeing what other people are doing, feeling that other people are doing better or have got things more together than us. Spend some time disconnecting from tech, reducing the amount of time that you're on there, giving yourself a break from social media, and really working internally on yourself and on the goals that you have in order to live a happy life. I think it's healthy for us to limit that tech time and to have periods where we disconnect. And take time out for you. A lot of this work we need to do in terms of self-kindness is to look after ourselves. Self-kindness can be the things we do for ourselves. A lot of self-care is self-kindness. A lot of personal growth is self-kindness. We're just taking time to process those emotions and talk to ourselves well and focus on our strengths. All that takes time. It's okay to take a rest, to take a break, to take time out, and to not feel guilty about it. Let go of that guilt. It's okay. Self-kindness is listening to what you need and doing it. And sometimes it's taking a break, it's taking time out. So make sure you do that. Build that in regularly every day. And the last one I've got is, actually I've got two more. One is when you tune into that chatter in your head, that self-talk. As a coach, I always listen to language. That's what I listen to, and that's what I want to change. You often hear, I am, and people are telling themselves, I am not good enough, I am stupid, I am silly, I'm not smart. All these I am is a very shaming behavior. It says there's something about me that's not okay, there's something wrong. I want you to tune into that. I want you to listen to the language that you're using. And if you're struggling with that, please reach out to me. This is what I do. This is my specialism. To get into your head and change that language, that inner dialogue. So please reach out if you're struggling. But first and foremost, pay attention to the words you're using. Do you find yourself saying, I am? Well, I always say, I only want you using I am if it's followed by something fantastic. Unless you're telling yourself something positive, I am a good person, I am good enough, I am amazing, I am smart, I am funny. Unless it's something positive, I don't want to hear that I am. Get rid of that because it's not serving you. So only use I am if it's something positive, okay? And finally, I really believe that self-kindness is also accepting that there's only so much that you can control. There's a lot you can control. You know, I talk about this so much. There's so much that's in your control. There's so much about your happiness is within your control. But not everything is in your control. You can't always control other people or situations. So focus on the things that you can control, which is a lot about you and how you respond to things, and not focusing on the things that you cannot control. So that was like, I think, 15 tips. So there's some ideas for you. Have a think about what you can embrace and the things that you could put in place in order to be more kind towards yourself. There's also some really great exercises. I've got 3 here that I wanted to share, some ideas that you can do that are based on like positive psychology and the work of some of the great researchers around self-compassion and self-kindness. But some ideas if you want to work on it yourself. One would be to make a list of the ways that you criticize yourself. I want you to start to bring attention to what you're saying to yourself. Notice the ways that you are criticizing yourself. And then I want you to write them down, and I want you to then look at them and write a way that you can compliment yourself, that you can say it in a more positive way. Okay, so you want to start changing that language. How can you change something that you criticize yourself about into something that's more compassionate or kinder or more positive? Another way is to like write yourself a letter from the perspective of a good friend. Like if a good friend wrote you a letter and told you all those lovely things about you, what would they say? So when you're in a good space, write a letter with kindness and compassion in the voice of a good best friend and have that to look at on those days where you're struggling. It's a really powerful way to start training your brain to be kinder to yourself. And thirdly, the tool that I use that has been so profound in my transformation and in the way that I talk to myself is doing a 5-minute guided self-compassion meditation. And I would love to invite you into my group to do this. I run this regularly. There's always a group running every couple of months. I do this 21-day self-compassion journey. And in that, first of all, we meet for about 90 minutes as a group, and we talk about more in depth about self-compassion, self-kindness, the research behind it, usually done by Dr. Kristen Neff, who's one of the leading researchers in self-compassion. We look at what that really means. You come together as a group, which is really important because you'll realize that you are so not alone. So many of us in the same position. There's something about knowing you're not alone that's so valuable. Join me, join an amazing group of women, come together and let's go through more about self-compassion, self-kindness. And then I teach you this, it's only 5 minutes, 5-minute meditation. It's guided and it helps you change your thinking. It helps you tune in to what you're saying and how to change it, how to talk to yourself with more kindness. And it is so amazing. In the groups I've run, I always get people to test their levels of self-compassion at the beginning and at the end. And in all the courses, after 21 days, it's just 3 weeks of 5 minutes a day. The transformation for the majority of people is from low to high self-compassion, like a really amazing turnaround in just 3 weeks. Why 21 days? 21 days is how long it takes to form a habit. So you come with me, we do the 90 minutes together, I teach you it, teach you the self-compassion meditation, and then every day for the rest of that week, we get together. You can ask me questions, you get support, and we do it together. So I'm helping you learn how to do it. And then we do a check-in, and then for the next 2 weeks, you go away and you do it self-directed with weekly check-ins with me in the group for 3 weeks. There's lots of support. We've got a special group all set up online where you come together, get support, have accountability, and you've got direct access to me for 3 whole weeks every single day. So if you feel that your thinking is holding you back, if you recognize that your self-talk could really do with a boost, then send me a message, reach out, and let's get you on the next course. I hope you find it really useful. We had an amazing chat in Happiness Club about it. It's a really emotive topic. And I do believe that when you tackle that negative thinking, that negative inner critic that you have, you will really notice a huge shift in how you feel, and you really feel a real benefit for your happiness. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.